Your foot started moving before you decided to move it. That's not a metaphor. There was no moment where you thought, I should tap along. Your body did it first, and your brain caught up half a second later. That reflex is running on hardware that predates language, predates agriculture, predates our species. So here's the real question, not who wrote the first song, because there's no clean answer to that. The real question is, how far back does this reflex go? And the answer is stranger and much older than anyone expects. Long before early hominins walked upright, our primate ancestors depended on sound to survive. In dense jungle, where you could see only a few meters in any direction, a call could warn of a predator, signal distress, or hold a group together in the dark. Over millions of years, that pressure reshaped the vocal tract and the tiny bones of the inner ear. Some evolutionary biologists call this the musolanguage hypothesis, the idea that before we had words, we had pitch, rhythm, melody, a sung, pre-linguistic code that came first. We didn't learn to sing after we learned to talk. We may have sung so that we could eventually learn to talk at all. In a world with no walls, no written law, and constant threat, a synchronized voice wasn't decoration. It was the strongest tool a group had for staying together. For most of that history, music left no trace. Voice and wooden percussion don't fossilize. But in 2008, in a cave called Hohl Fels in southwestern Germany, archaeologists found something that couldn't be explained away, buried in Ice Age sediment. An instrument carved from the wing bone of a griffin vulture, alongside fragments of mammoth ivory flutes. Dated to roughly 40,000 years ago, the oldest widely accepted musical instrument on Earth. This wasn't an accident of shape. The finger holes are precisely spaced and carefully beveled. Mammoth ivory is close to hardwood in density. Carving it into a hollow, tuned instrument during the last glacial maximum would have taken dozens of hours with stone tools. Think about what that means. In an era where every hour was a fight against freezing cold and megafauna, someone spent an entire day of survival time. Not on a weapon, not on shelter, carving a flute. For tens of thousands of years after that flute, every song still vanished the moment it was sung. Music passed from ear to mouth, generation to generation, and left nothing behind. That changed around 1400 BCE in the ancient city of Ugarit in modern-day Syria. Archaeologists found clay tablets containing the Hurrian hymn to Nickel, the oldest surviving substantially complete piece of notated music with instructions for tuning a 9-stringed lyre. As human societies grew into empires, music changed jobs. It stopped being just warmth around a fire and became a tool of the state, announcing kings, marshaling armies, structuring sacred ritual. Music became something you could wield. Across all of that, tens of thousands of years, one thing never changed. To hear music, you had to be near someone making it. That rule held until 1877, when Thomas Edison recorded his own voice onto a tinfoil cylinder. In that moment, sound was separated from time and presence for the first time in human history. Music could be trapped, copied, packaged, and sold. For 99.9% of human existence, music was rare, fleeting, and collective, something you experience with other people around a fire in a hall. Today it's infinite, nearly free, and mostly consumed alone. You're carrying the entire recorded history of human sound in your pocket, on demand, all day. Your brain wasn't built for that kind of abundance. It was built for scarcity, for the rare, electric relief of voices harmonizing in the dark, holding the cold back. Which brings you back to your headphones. Small, ordinary, easy to forget. When a melody gives you goosebumps or a beat pulls your foot into motion without asking permission, that's not a modern reflex. That's an impulse older than written language, older than cities, answering a need for rhythm and connection that was built into us back when the world was colder and darker and a lot more dangerous. Only the ease of it is new. If you made it this far, this channel is for you. We dig into deep human history every day, the gap between the world we evolved for and the one we're actually living in. If that's your thing, subscribe. It costs nothing, and it tells the algorithm to keep this kind of story alive. See you next time.